Hello friends, I hope you're doing well. I'm just going on a little walk here before my lunch. It's another beautiful day. Great day to be alive. I want to talk about these videos. I see them everywhere on social media now, on Twitter, but they're usually shared from TikTok. Um, People are in their vehicles most of the time for whatever reason. Uh, they're complaining about life and how expensive things are, and they can't make ends meet, and they can't pay their rent or their mortgage. And they're going viral because those are the types of things that go viral on social media. They're very, they generate strong emotions from people, and they're trying to tap into a sentiment that people can feel in the world, right? Things are tough, things are expensive, it's harder to earn a living and to afford the basics. There's war going on, there's climate change, if that's something that worries you. There's all these things that are worrying to people. And unfortunately, what that is also paired with, those types of videos and that type of despair, I often hear it paired with, and that's why I'm not going to start a family right now, or that's why I'm not going to bring kids into this world, because who could bring kids into a world like this? Who could afford children, first of all, and who would want to bring children into a world such as this? And my advice to you, and actually, before I get into the advice, let me say that everything that people are talking about in those videos is valid. In that things are more expensive. It is harder to earn a living. Inflation is through the roof. Yes, there's wars going on all over the world, but that's not really anything new. And there's always the flavor of the day when it comes to what social or political or economic thing we need to be worried about. So, that's all valid, and is frankly not new. Just pick up a history book, and that's kind of the point that I want to make in this video, is that the problems that we face. Okay, I'm not trying to say that your problems don't exist or that you shouldn't be concerned about them, but they're not new. Um, at the end of the Second World War, which killed 85 million people, almost 3% of the world's entire population, wiped off the face of the earth in some of the most horrific ways you could possibly ever imagine. Right after that, the Western countries, Europe, North America, Australia, New Zealand, had their biggest population boom ever, particularly Europe, had their biggest population boom ever. That's why that generation are called the baby boomers. You'd think that right after, in a 30-year time span, 40-year time span, two of the most two of the most horrific wars that ever happened in human history, you'd think that if any generation was had more excuses, had the more excuses than we have today to not have children, that would be the generation. If there was a generation that ever had any excuse to feel despair and hopelessness, that would be the generation that had the excuse to feel despair and hopelessness. But they didn't. They didn't. They procreated, they started families, they started all over again. They just kept on doing whatever it was that they had to do to make their towns, their city, their villages beautiful, to make their families thriving. They were far more religious people than we are now. So, they also had a belief in a power and a destiny greater than the one that we have on earth. They lived in this earth, but they were not of it. So, there's something to probably be said about that as well. But guys, don't let these doomers, even though they're making legitimate points, do not let them be the reason why you don't live a good life, why you don't start a family, why you are living in despair and anxiety and a depressive state all the time. Because there's always something to complain about. We're always on the brink of something catastrophic that's going to really shake us to our core, always. And social media amplifies those voices because that's what gets clicks, and clicks equal revenue. But I'm not here to do that, and I will never do that. I spent an hour with my daughter yesterday. She's just over 2. I spent an hour with her. She was lying on my stomach. We were lying on the couch and she was lying on my stomach. And I read books to her for an hour. That's never happened before. She's not been in like she's not in like that snuggly stage yet, right? She might sit down, but on my lap or something, but not snuggling. And she did that for an hour. And she was devastated when it had to end because we had to go to bed. She had to go to bed. In that hour, I was the happiest I've been maybe my entire life for an hour straight. Everything that I thought, like every cliche I thought about being a dad came true in that hour. Everything I thought, like, how would it feel to have your child rest their head on your chest? Like, how happy would you be in that moment? Everything that I thought of, it all came true. And it was exactly what I thought it would be. It was the best thing ever. And I could not possibly imagine having the mindset to think, well, life's expensive. Marriages fail at 50%. And there's a lot of bad things, quote unquote, happening in the world. So I don't think I'm going to bring a life into this world. Oh my gosh. Like, that would be my hell. Thinking about my relationship with my daughter and how much I love her and how much joy and hope she brings to the world, because that's what children do. Children bring joy and hope to the world, which is another reason why the rapidly falling birth rates in Western countries is such a huge problem, because you can't import hope to a degree that's going to save your civilization, your country. But that's a video for another day. But the amount of hope and joy that she brings to my everyday, it is a missile that locks in on despair and hopelessness and doomer talking points, and it explodes it. It eviscerates it from my mind, from my soul, from my heart. She eviscerates it. And I wish that for you. I wish that for you and for everyone, that you can understand what I'm talking about. I'll end with this. My grandparents on both sides, my mom and my dad's side, okay? One came from Italy, the other from England. They had every reason in the world to have despair. They were displaced. They had family and friends who were slaughtered in the Second World Wars. Life was really hard, and they came here with nothing, and especially on the Italian side, they didn't even speak the language. Yet they made an unbelievable life for themselves. And now they have great grandchildren to show for it. They had every reason in the world to not keep going, but they didn't. And I'm so blessed that I have that messaging in my life, and that they instilled that in me. That never once did they think about giving up or not having a family, or not just say, you know what, like, things are hard, but we're just going to put our heads down and do what we need to do every single day, and we just hope for the best. And during that time, we spend lots of time with our friends and our family and the people we love, sharing in food with them, sharing in experiences and laughter with them, because that's the joie de vivre that you need to live a great life. That in spite of all the stuff that's happening around you, all of the unknowns and potential despair that you're surrounded with, you don't become a victim to it. You don't live your life as a victim. So that's my message. Is it a bad time to have children, to start a family? No. It's the best time ever, because it's the present and you're alive. And in that there is hope. There is hope for you and hope for the world. And never forget that. So I'm not saying that those people don't have points. They do. Life's expensive. And guess what? I'm saying this as somebody who is a single income family. My wife doesn't work. I'm the only one that works. And somehow we're still able to make that lifestyle work for us. And as a single income earner, I earned like just above the household median average for Canada. So, and I live in an expensive part of the country. So it's not like I'm speaking a from this point of view where, I have all this money and wealth and all of that that's making my life easier. It's not. I'm feeling the same pressures you are, exactly the same. Okay, which everyone's got their own way of dealing with it, and own way of understanding how those pressures affect them. So go out there, start a family, have children, stop paying attention to those videos. The only thing that you need to understand about those videos is that they're just a pulse, okay, of society and what people are thinking and feeling. And also, you need to understand that people are getting a lot of clicks and a lot of attention by posting videos like that. So question the motives and the reason why you're seeing it and the reason why people can continue to do them. And that's it. Be optimistic. Be a leader. Have a family. Love and care for them above all else. And you will feel fulfilled, and you will feel optimistic, and you will have hope in spite of and despite all of the horrific things that might happen to you, this world, whatever. It doesn't matter. Children are hope. Children are love. Go have families.